Hi, welcome to French Blonde Travels. I'm Renee. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been hanging with me for a little bit. If you're new here, I just want to catch you up. I travel part-time in my 2017 Chevy City Express. And if you've never heard of that, it's because Chevy rebranded the NV200s. So it's really an NV200. They just put a new nose on it, and they put these awful Chevy seats in here. The seats are horrible. I got a seat cushion that I'm still trying to get used to. It's comfortable. It's making the seat much more comfortable, but I still have to get used to it. Many of you know I am about to go on a big trip, the biggest trip I think that I've ever taken, and this is going from central New York to Houston, Texas, and I'm going to try to make that journey in somewhere around 10 days, I think. Maybe shorter, because at the end of the trip, I'm going to visit my mother and my sister and my nephew and my great niece, and they live in Houston. And then after I visit with them, I will be meeting up with a few friends, and we are going to beach hop on the beaches in Texas. So that's going to be a great, fun journey, and I'll try to capture as much of it as I can. Getting ready for a long journey like this is completely different than going to a meetup that's only going to last a few days. Even if the meetup isn't very close. I went to a New Hampshire meetup. I went to a Massachusetts meetup. And they're close, but they're not real close. I mean, I'm in New York State, and so the Massachusetts meetup I had to travel to, the New Hampshire meetup I had to travel to. But they were short trips, you know. They're 4 or 5 hours to get there from start to finish, so that's not too far. It's not extremely close, but it's not that far. But this is a 2,600 plus mile trip, and I've never gone this far west in a car. I have flown to Houston to visit family, but I have never driven, so this is going to be my first road trip to Houston, and I'm going to take several days to get there. So that means stopping at rest stops and Cracker Barrels and things like that. So I'm going to take you along with me, but I got to tell you, getting prepped for this trip is a whole lot different than just doing a 3-day meetup. First and foremost, it's not going to be 3 days once I get there, not even counting the travel time it's going to take to get there. It's at least 6 weeks hanging out on beaches and seeing what we can see and being beach bums, basically. But it is late in the year. It's mid-September right now. And when I return, it will be the middle of November. So today, it's like really hot. It's like 85 degrees today, which again is an unusual temperature for this part of the country this time of year. Actually, no, it's not. Because I remember being in school and having hot days like this with no AC and just sweltering, wearing fall clothing. How many of you did that? You got your new fall clothes for school, and then you wore them to school that first week, and it was blazing hot? Yeah, that was me. Just roasting in that first couple of weeks of school. But it will soon start turning colder here. And when I return in November, it will not be in the mid 80s. I'll be lucky if we get mid 50s. It may be colder. It has been known to be colder in November here. and it has been known to snow. So I'm going to try and stay south as long as I can, but I am going to eventually have to be back for the holidays. My family's going to want me here for, for all the holidays. And I had to pack some extra things that I would not have packed going on these short meetups that I've been on. So I had to remember to put my wool blanket in here. I had to remember to grab my space heater in case I need it. It's just a small little 400 watt space heater, and it's AC powered, and I have my inverter and I have my power stations, so I should be able to use it without any problem. I have an electric blanket, but I don't think I'm going to bring that. I don't think it's going to get cold enough for me to need an electric blanket. The wool blanket plus the blankets that I already have should be fine. I do have one extra knitted blanket that I could use if I need it, but I think I'll be fine with the wool blanket. And as far as clothing, I'm going to end up having to bring extra clothes because it will be cold on my way back. So I'm going to need warmer clothes that I'm going to have to store like the whole trip until it's time to come back. So that stuff's probably going to be in my way, but I can't even be concerned about it. Once I find a spot for it, it's going to sit there until I need it on my return trip. So yeah, packing for a cross-country trip that is going to entail changing seasons as well as time zones. I'm going to have to get used to that. It can be a little challenging, but I think I'm managing. I painted my shelf in the back finally. It was just raw wood for the longest time. Many of you know I'm not crafty. So I figured it would be okay for you to see it from here because you can't see all the mistakes that I made on it, which is fine. Nobody's really going to see that. I tried to fix the canopy. I did use Velcro, but that's not successful. So I'm going to figure something else out to keep my canopy, is that what it's called? Tapestry up top. Because I really like it and I don't want to take it down. It was a gift. So I want to find a way to make it stay up there. Of course they want to cut their grass while I'm recording. I do have some straight pins that are also assisting the Velcro. But if you have any suggestions on what I could do to keep that up there, let me know. I also have magnets, but when the car moves, it kind of causes the tapestry to sag. So the magnets by themselves are not a complete solution. Of course, I can use a combination of all of those in the meantime, but if you have a suggestion. I don't really want to use the spray adhesive because I really like that canopy and I don't want it stuck up there to the point where I can't reuse it if ever I take it down. I know I did a video about reorganizing before I went to the New Hampshire meetup, but I spent the day, the last couple of days, reorganizing the van to make space for the extra items that are going to be needed for this trip, and just rearranging some things to make them fit better. I did have a lot of space in here to add things underneath the bed, but once you jam things up underneath there, it's difficult to get it back out. So I want to be careful about how tightly packed it is underneath the bed. I want to still be able to get to items under there without too much trouble. And of course, it is a rock and roll bed, so I can access items by putting it up into chair mode. And then once I do that, it's easier to access things that are underneath the bed. But when it's not in chair mode, it can be quite difficult unless it's right there in the front to reach. It can be quite difficult to get at. I reorganized my 3-drawer cabinet here. I got these little bags from Dollar Tree. I got a bunch of them. They had a whole bunch that they, got. So everything is all organized. Plus, I decided to make use of the netted bag that my friend Sandy gave me. And I put one of these Dollar Tree bins in it because I realized I don't have any sink per se in the van. I don't have, as I've been doing all these various trips and meetups and everything, I found that it would be real simple if I just had some sort of a bucket to wash my dishes. I do use the vinegar spray. You can see my shelf. I did paint it, and it matches everything in the van. And you can see the canopy is here, all tied up and everything. And, got my spices here. I do have space on the wall over there if I want to use magnets to hang anything. And I've got tons of magnets, like all over the van. Magnets are everywhere. And I even have some spare magnets in my 3-drawer storage cabinet. So I can use magnets to hang things like beach towels and stuff like that. There's some pretty heavy duty magnets that I have with hooks on them. And then I have these magnets that have carabiners on it. And those are pretty heavy duty magnets as well. They're 60-pound magnets. So I don't expect this to fall off the wall. I do have a couple of items in there, but they're just quick access things. I've got my multi-plug extension cord that's in there. I've got some fire starter, and I got the color fire color packets. If you saw my video, my Michigan video with Patty, we got a kick out of turning our campfire into different colorful light show. So I have some of those in case we build a fire. Not sure how that's going to work out once we get into Texas, but in case we build a fire, I have some really neat stuff that I can use to build fires. And you can see I got my ceiling fan going here, and I just wanted to turn it on and see if the new power brick I got would run the ceiling fan, and it does. And it runs nicely. I really enjoy this power brick. It holds power for a really long time. But the one thing that I can say is it takes forever to charge. So I'm glad that I did some upgrades to help maintain power while I'm on the road. Getting that power inverter was probably the most brilliant thing I've done so far. I do want a DC to DC charger eventually, but I don't know why I've been on the fence about getting it done. I haven't even priced it out. I know the DC to DC chargers, they can be pricey, but for what they do, I don't think they're all that expensive. But the installation of it is something that I won't be able to do, so I'm going to have to get someone to install it, and that's going to cost a little bit of money. So um, I've just been running around doing meetups and reorganizing my van lately. So this trip to Texas is going to be a different animal, I think. Only because I've never driven to Texas. As far as a long distance journey and staying for a significant amount of time, I've done that in Florida already a couple of times. So, um, I know I can do the drive. I'll probably white knuckle it because everybody's trying to warn me about traffic in Houston. Even my sister said it's going to be crazy from coming from Texarkana into Houston. Um, it's going to be quite the journey. Traffic just makes it crazy, and extends the length of the trip. Google says it's 5 hours from Texarkana into Houston, but she said it took her 8 hours to make that drive. So, yeah, traffic is crazy. Plus, she did it during rush hour. I'm going to try to avoid that, but I think it's still going to be heavy traffic. But my route, leaving from central New York, I'm going west through a bit of Pennsylvania and into Ohio, the same way I went when I went to Michigan, but instead of continuing west and north to go to Michigan like I did, I'm going to be going south through Ohio. So, um, I'm hitting all those sea cities. What is it? Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, coming south through there, and then into West Virginia and Tennessee, and then through Nashville and Memphis into Arkansas, and then south into Houston. So, I don't know if there's any sites that you can recommend that I see along the way. Let me know in the comments below. I don't have any stops uh, particularly planned out, but as an Amazon truck, I think I got an Amazon delivery, maybe. But yeah, if there's any stops along that route, just put it down in the comments and I'll see if I can work it into the whole travel plan. And I'll just give you updates along the way. So I think that's all that I have for now. Stay tuned for future videos because I will be documenting the journey from here to there. And then you'll get to see all the shenanigans that me and my friends get up to once we're on the beaches of Texas. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.